The first team that we have this week, what three things, or this, we're actually doing two things where we cut it down a little bit because, again, we're at bottom of the barrel teams. Like, there's only so much these teams can do, so we're kind of condensing it a little bit. So two things that the Spurs need to do to contend this year. Number one, Victor Wembanyama takes that MVP leap. This team goes as far as Wemby takes them. I know it's his second year in the league, and the expectations for him already are starting to, become sky high. Because, the Spurs are not a guaranteed playoff team this year. They're not. But they made some moves this offseason that I believe can help them. But again, it just all revolves around Wemby. We're talking about him being in the MVP conversation, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved, All NBA. Like, we're really expecting Wemby to take such a huge leap this year. And if he does that and he is in those conversations, I believe that the Spurs could be in line for a playoff berth, could compete for a last playoff spot. And then the other one I have is Chris Paul. He leads another bottom tier team to the playoffs. We've talked about how good Chris Paul is, and we did a game last week. We did Mount Rushmore point guards, and you include Chris Paul because his ability to turn shit teams into good teams. Look what he did in the Thunder a few years ago. Went to a team that was bottom of the barrel, bottom of the Western Conference, and led them to a playoff.
At a 0.02% chance to make it to the postseason.
And that's the other thing, the crazy thing I was going to mention is how people didn't expect them to do anything. Like, not even a Thunder fan. So the fact that he did what he did for that team, insane.
As a 5 seed.
Dude, they were actually like good that year. It's not even like they just barely made the playoffs. Like, they were comfortably in the playoffs. I know he's older now. That was a few years ago. He's 38, 39 now, so he's aged a little bit, but he ages like fine wine. I think that if anyone can do it, has the ability to do it, it's still Chris Paul. Him and Wemby could be an insane duo. We'll wait and see, but, led by Greg Popovich too. I think him and Chris Paul can put their high IQs together, and maybe they can make something happen. But I do think that this team goes as far as Wemby takes them, and Chris Paul as well. So it all revolves around them.
Yeah, no, those are two really strong, solid points that I happen to agree with. No surprise there. I mean, we look at Wemby, we could already probably call him a top 10 player in the league. Like,
I don't think it's crazy. Crazy.
Like, I'm not saying he is, but
look at him.
What
he can do, like, it's hard.
Hey, 22 a game, 10 boards, 3 blocks, 2 steals.
Can shoot threes.
Yeah, threes. Can dribble the ball up the floor himself. Like, we've never seen anything like this. And, I watched this Jimmy High Roller video. Shout out to him. He doesn't need the shout out from me. He has millions of YouTube subscribers and whatnot. But he did say, he gave his hot take in one of these videos where he said that he would take Wembanyama after his first year over any other player in NBA history after their first year. That includes Michael Jordan. That includes LeBron. That includes, anybody that you want to throw in that bracket. Like,
sure.
And I could see why. Because just based off of this first year of his rookie season alone, it really is like, damn, this is his first season, and he's already adjusted to the game somewhat to be this demigod of a player that can impact the game literally on every single facet. He's already a 3-level scorer. He's already an elite defender. That's literally what we look for.
He has something that you can't teach, and that's also
exactly
7'3", 7'4" frame. So that definitely benefits him.
I know MJ gave us 28 a game in his rookie season. I know LeBron had 27 and 7, but Wemby's it's a little different.
Cut from a different cloth for sure. Yeah, he's an alien. You can say.
That first point is rock solid. I love Chris Paul, man. That dude is amazing. Yeah. Like, and what he's able to do for these franchises, but mostly superstar players that he's played alongside, like James Harden or Devin Booker, who kind of help unlock their games a little bit. But more importantly, what he does for another big. What he did for Tyson Chandler in New Orleans. What he did for David West as well. What he did for Clint Capella. What he did for DeAndre Ayton. Imagine what he's going to do.
He'll bring the best out of them.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So imagine what he could do with a guy that's more talented than everybody we just named.
Right. Yeah. It could be a very special duo. That could be a team that surprises us. It could be another Oklahoma City Thunder situation where they go from one of the worst teams in the West to middle of the pack in playoffs. Who knows?
They got Devin Vassell. They got Harrison Barnes. They got Keldon Johnson.
Harrison Barnes. I forgot about that. Yeah.
it's a nice group of young talent and some vets coming. So let's be careful for the Spurs, man. If he wasn't going to the Lakers, I wanted him to go to the Spurs. So
Yeah.
kind of glad he ended up there. A+
Yeah,
for
good spot.
Dante for this first one.